Good day, Meticulous Moments. Thank you so much for joining us. I am back with this wonderful friend of mine. You will know him from a previous interview, Daniel Knight from the Unicorn Universe. And we are here to give thanks and to show gratitude today for the year that we've had. How are you, Daniel?
Fantastic. I'm doing so great. How are you?
I'm doing so well. I see you on social media. You and I chat, but I also see your posts. I follow you. I see you have been up to great things. Tell us a little bit more about what you've been up to.
Well, I have been super busy the past couple of months. I've been a little bit slower on the social media side, just building some stuff like an app, a Unicorn Connector app, and getting a podcast ready. And after I got through all of that, and the podcast is called the Unicorn Connector Show. It's all focused on unicorn connectors. So I got through it all. It's all complete now. And so now I'm back and super active. And that's why you have probably seen so much posting and stuff from me. So, because you got to segment your time, right? So, yeah.
That is so true. That is so true. Otherwise, we don't get through the things, that are really important. Now, the podcast I've seen, is doing so well for the Unicorn Universe connectors, and you and I are connectors, and we know so many people on LinkedIn. That's where we really got to know each other. And tell us more about the podcast. What is happening there? What are some highlights of the podcast? As we move towards the end of this year?
Well, it's really all about showcasing connectors and helping connectors be better connectors and giving them tips and tools and, insights, stories about other people's experiences as a connector. We focus on relationships, revenue, and referrals so that connectors can understand different ways that they can generate revenue by making connections and making referrals. So that's kind of what it's all about. And there's so much more to it. We have a lot of really cool plans for it and tons of guests lined up already. So, definitely open to having more guests like yourself and other people that love connecting. I want to be on more shows to promote it as well, because why not? Right. So,
yeah.
So it's a lot of work, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell the audience, I don't think they realize how much work it is to have a podcast. Tell them a little bit of your experience, because you do it so well. And they would just be uplifted by hearing. What does it really take to do a podcast?
Well, I probably spent, 3 to 4 hours of learning, just trying to come up with strategies, making sure I had the audio all in check, making sure I had a good purpose behind the podcast and that it was very clear and that the message was clear and all of that. That part alone took a few, hours of learning, multiple days of preparing, structuring it, coming up with the intro, the outro, the music, and then you record an episode, right? You spend an hour recording it after an hour or two plus preparing it. And then you spend 4 hours editing it, maybe not 4, but there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. So that's the life, that is what we do, but we do it because we enjoy, sharing with people and of course connecting. Very important that we connect and network, and that Daniel and I both love to do that. So thank you. I would love to be on your podcast, of course, and I will connect you with more people with podcasts so that you can also go shine your unicorn light there. I love your background, by the way.
Thank you. I've been kind of using a variation of this background lately, but I put the unicorns on there for this specifically. So
wow, I'm so happy. Thank you, Daniel. You always prepare and you always bring so much to the table, and you're always just doing your best in everything. I spoke to Daniel before we started recording, audience, and I said, we're going to share about what we are grateful for, and Daniel said, well, I made a list. in case I forget something. So tell the audience about your list, Daniel. I think that's phenomenal. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I did prepare because there's so much to be grateful for, and for one, I'm grateful to you for having me on your show the first time and for inviting me to be on today. I think being grateful and expressing gratitude for all sorts of different things. Like I put LinkedIn on there. I'm grateful for LinkedIn because it has connected me with so many different people like yourself and people that have become close friends. And so, that's just one example of the kinds of things that I put on there that I'm grateful for. So I just didn't want to forget anything,
That's good. No, I think that's phenomenal. And, LinkedIn, of course, look at what it has brought us. I agree with that. Absolutely. Social Saturday, big highlight for us there on LinkedIn. Wonderful group to be part of. Yeah, I love that. So tell us about your list. Who else is on that list? What else is there? I'm very curious to know.
Well, you mentioned Social Saturday. Victoria Tokars, I think is how you say her name. She is absolutely on the list. I have not given her enough credit for all the amazing people I've met through Social Saturday, the way that it's supported my LinkedIn growth. I was very open that I was kind of borrowing, replicating her strategy and with my Unicorn Connector posts on Fridays because, and she told me when I first connected with her, she was like, well, I didn't come up with it. I just know how to do it and make it, great. And so I'm like, all right, cool. So, I'm very grateful to her. And she is a very positive person. She's very supportive of others and highly intelligent. So I learned a lot from her, and I'm just very grateful for all the connections that came from her. I had a hard time. Everything in me wanted to just name 100 people on this call, but I decided against that because I didn't want to forget anybody. There are a few specific people that I definitely want to shout out, but that really created a significant impact. But I'm grateful for all the connections I made from Social Saturday, like you and so many other people. I'm biting my tongue not to name names right now.
I know which names you're thinking about because we have the same friends, but definitely, oh my goodness, there are so many beautiful people out there. I feel so blessed, to know you and all of them and to share. I share 2022, most of my Saturdays with you and the Social Saturday squad and all the members. So no, that's absolutely phenomenal. And tell us anything else on your list there that you would like to share.
Well, the people that have been involved with creating Unicorn Universe, I can't express my gratitude to them enough. The initial partners, my current partners, Michael Gray, he's, been there from the beginning. He's very supportive. He's helped me understand how to be a better connector and just how important it is to focus on people, not projects. There's, Sebastian Cruz, he's somebody that has really helped me out with coming up with the whole community that we have, which has become so incredibly important to me and meaningful to me and all the people that are in that community. It's incredible. I can't thank him enough because, I don't know how many weeks and hours and collaborating that we went through to make it the way that it is. So I owe him a huge thank you. And then there's Debbie Black. We call her the Debicorn, and she contributes to our growth every single week in so many different ways. And she's just very supportive. She's always believed in what we're creating here. And, we've had all sorts of ups and downs and, a rainbow goes like this, right? Well, when you're riding the rainbow, sometimes it feels like it goes in all sorts of directions,
like a roller coaster.
Yeah. Right. So she's been very helpful. I also got to give a shout out to Jonah Gray. He actually made me his best man at his wedding in November. He's easily my best friend who has, really pushed me in all sorts of different ways. He has been there to support us and in the company, and also been there from the beginning. So Jonah deserves a shout out. And then there's Daryl Price. He also really helped us with creating a lot of the strategy and some of the stuff behind the whole community. So, I could go into all sorts of other names and people that have really supported us with Unicorn Universe, but those people really, really stuck out as people that helped create it and come up with the strategies and the ways to actually make it impactful. So I also, before we move on from, internal unicorns, I also want to make sure that Jolene Wilkinson is given a tremendous amount of credit. She's our content fairy. She's the one that helps create all the emails, all the social media posts, sprinkles the magical unicorn dust all over it. And she's just very amazing. She's absolutely amazing and just dedicated to the growth and the success of Unicorn Universe. So, yeah. So, like I said, I have like a whole list. That's literally the first bullet point.
Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. And audience, I want to tell you something. Daniel is always prepared. And that is his success in life. Whenever we do something together, Daniel, I know when he's going to be there, he's going to come prepared. My goodness, he's going to have everything in order and ready to give, because he's a giver. And I heard a sermon, I think it was the other day, I think it was a few weeks ago, that said, givers are makers and takers are breakers. And I can tell you something, Daniel is a giver. And he makes relationships work. He makes businesses flow, and he makes sure the connections that he forms are connections that are long term. I mean, we just clicked, we connected, and we have been together as friends, since then. So that is just a part of my experience with Daniel. What is on your second bullet point? Let's hear it.
Well, why don't you take a turn? I'd love to hear some of the things that you're grateful to. Grateful for as well. And I mean, it's collaborative, right? And I want to make sure that, we're both sharing. Otherwise I'll take the whole time, So
I love it. I wouldn't mind. No, yes, thank please. You, Daniel. Yeah, I'm grateful, for this year. If I look back, it was a character building year. I think I got to a place where I realized there were so many things I still had to learn. And the moment I immersed myself in that process, the moment I said, well, here I am, I want to grow personally and professionally, that's when I met wonderful people like you. And that's when the podcast really took off. And I'm very thankful for Meticulous Moments, because we have moved now, since we last spoke, you and I, we've moved on to Traverse TV. And we are in 196 countries, and just streaming on Roku and Amazon Fire and Apple TV, and it's just been a journey. Meticulous is posting episode 100 tomorrow, so it has been just such a wonderful ride. So I'm thankful for that. Thank you, Daniel.
Yay, that's amazing! Congratulations. I mean, and like we talked about at the beginning, it's a lot of work. So stick with it for that long. I mean, how many hundreds of hours, do you think you've put into that?
Oh my goodness. Let me say, I haven't even calculated that, but I think a short interview would be 3-4 hours worth of work. And then longer ones, obviously 4 or 5, like you've mentioned. You've got that spot on, absolutely. So 100 episodes, that it counts to a lot of hours, but worth it all the way, enjoying every moment, and so blessed that I made 100 new friends, 100 new connections who have other friends and connections that I'm also connected with, such as yourself, and all the people we know on LinkedIn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and with that, I said that I'm thankful to you for having me on your show. Also, everybody that has had me on their shows. I've been blessed to be on all sorts of different shows, talking about my story, talking about my plans, talking about our company, all these different things. And I'm so grateful to all the people that have had me on their shows. It really means a lot that people would believe in me enough to, have me there, and share whatever comes out of my mouth, right? That's a that's a lot of trust to have somebody on your show and say, hey, ask a question, and it's kind of a roll of the dice to hear what comes out of their mouth, right? So very grateful to all of those people.
That's why pre-recordings are, the safer way to do it, because when you're on a live, I mean, if it's out, it's out. You're on a live. But I love doing the pre-recordings for Meticulous simply because of the hour difference. And, we have a little bit of an hour difference, a time difference here in South Africa. But the lives, I think, were amazing. Those are my favorite. When we do lives and it just flows, I enjoy that so much. So, yes, I agree. Thank you to everyone for hosting us this year. And what's your next bullet point? Let's hear it. I'm so excited to learn more.
Well, that would go to the unicorn community members. If people didn't believe in the vision that we had enough to sign up and join our blessing, that's a group of unicorns, is called a blessing. So you can look it up. But
you told me that. I did.
Yeah. So I feel like, when I say that, I feel like I got to clarify, because otherwise it might, come off weird. But all the people that are in there, and we just hit, I think we're at just over 40 members right now. I think 42. And I'm so grateful to each and every one of them. And again, I can't go through every single name. If I went through every name already, we'd be, hundreds of names by now. So just know that I appreciate every single one of you, everybody that's come as a guest to our connection events on Fridays. I invited 70 people to the event today, and there weren't that many people there, but just the fact that there are that many people that are important in my life and that I trust enough to say, hey, you're welcome to come on and share who you're looking to connect with, and something that's magical that happened recently, a dream that you have. Those are the questions that we ask people. It's so meaningful to me. It's absolutely incredible to me that there are that many people that we want to be communicating with every week and supporting and helping grow their business and, solving problems together. It's, I don't even know. Words cannot express how grateful I am to every single person in that group. So, and we're just getting started.
Yes. You are, and community, super important, especially, in the times that we are in. Super important to know you have those people behind you, walking with you, sometimes leading you. And to the audience out there, podcasters such as Daniel and myself, we really love to engage with people, and we live ourselves into your story, and we learn from, the experiences that you share with our audiences. And every single podcast that I've done this year has been phenomenal. Every single podcast that I've done this year has taught me at least one or two, life lessons. So what has the experience been for you, when you're interviewing? What comes through? What shines through for you?
Just that everybody has a different perspective on some of the questions, and everybody has their own story, and I really tried to, while being specific with the Unicorn Connector show, I also wanted to make it flexible enough that if I wanted a person on the show because I really just wanted to support them, or I like them, or I think they can add value in one way or another, I wanted to make it in a way that it was flexible to be able to do that, Just about anybody can talk about relationships or revenue or referrals or any of the unicorn DNA strands, making connections, community collaborations. So while it's specific, it's pretty broad, and anybody can get involved really at the end of the day, as long as they have some experience and they want to share stories, So that's what's been interesting, is just how different people respond in different ways. And everybody's different story, So
Yes. And it's like you said, and that's the beauty of a podcast for me, because it is broad, but it can also be, one thing. And I love the way how, we prepare as much as we can, but in an interview, it unfolds and it becomes something so beautiful. To me, it's like an art, taking that story and bringing it to life and really putting it out there. And at Meticulous, you would know, because, you and I have engaged a lot in conversation. You've been on the show. I focus on community upliftment through leadership development. And though that is my focus, it's so broad. And there's so many things that I've learned that it is just amazing to see how our podcasts just really, they come to life. And when they come to life, that's where we find that fulfillment. And that's where we get that passion to say, I want to do more. I want to go bigger. And I know you want to grow your community. So what are your plans for 2023 with your community? Or anything that you would like to share about 2023 with us?
Yeah, so there are some really interesting things we've got in the works, as far as, making the community platform better. So I'm really excited about that, because creating a space where people can share and communicate and collaborate is really important when it comes to having an effective community. So I'm excited about that. I put so much work into the Unicorn Connector app, which I want to give a special shout out to all the Unicorn Connectors, because what fire that caught. There's, I think, something like 30 people that downloaded and signed up in the Unicorn Connector app. I announced it a week ago, and
Goodness, that's wonderful.
Yeah. And we created the Unicorn Connector as a way to help people generate additional income just by making connections. And so the app has become instrumental for doing exactly that and giving people a way to streamline sending introductions to us, which is how we're going to grow the community the fastest, And
Yes.
So that's what I'm really excited about, is to continue growing the community by supporting connectors who are supporting us. It's a very reciprocal thing,
Yes.
So we have a competition going through the end of January as well.
Oh, tell us. Tell us more.
It's basically just whoever sends the most introductions that ends up meeting with us by the end of January, they're going to win a $500 bonus. So,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So here you go, audience. I mean, my goodness, get involved there. It's very easy to find Daniel on LinkedIn. Let me tell you, he's all over the place, and you're going to enjoy his posts. You are going to enjoy the content that he puts out there. And I think, it's the content, but it's also the heart behind what he does. He really enjoys what he does, and we can just see that passion coming out, and that's amazing. That's what draws people. So I believe your community is going to grow in leaps and bounds.
I agree with you, and I'm excited for it, because I know that the more we grow, the more people we can help. And so that's what I'm really excited about more than anything. And I appreciate you saying that. So much work goes into content creation. We talk about podcasts, but then there's promoting it too. We didn't even talk about that, right? So, and
it's a whole other ball game.
Yeah. And you can't just be posting about your podcast, right? Or people are going to tune it out. So there's so much that goes into it. I'm probably right around 700 posts since May 1st that I've put out there, which is crazy.
Wow. Wow.
A lot of those count, shares of other posts count. That's all I have to track. But it's a lot, and those are not, a 10-minute piece of work that goes into it. So, yeah.
No, it's refined and it's polished. And, the content is very carefully placed together. I spoke to someone the other day on a live, and they were saying that when we do our posts, we should do our posts. we should do our posts, because a lot of people take their content and they give an idea and they give it over to someone, and that post goes out and it's beautiful, but it doesn't capture the essence of the person. So someone would read that post and say, no, it's a lovely post by Juanita, but we know it wasn't her because she speaks this way and she loves to describe things that way. So yeah, content creation, it's a lot of work. It's time and effort. It's tedious, but it's lovely. It's fun to engage with. So I want to hear from you, Daniel. What else is happening on that bullet point page? Let me hear it.
Well, on that note, I want to give it a shout out to Canva.
Yay, Canva, we love you.
I told you I got all sorts of interesting things on my.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, so useful and amazing. Like, so I have background in the whole Adobe suite. I first started using Adobe when I was like 15 years old, and I even went to school, did a couple years of that. But Canva, even though it doesn't have as much functionality, it streamlines things incredibly. Like, it's amazing. So shout out to Canva. You guys rock.
Yeah, we just want to say, Canva, Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. So yeah. And we already said LinkedIn. I also, so as far as like tools and resources are concerned, I'm very grateful to all the resources we have to be able to learn and grow, you know, like Audible or Udemy. Yes. I don't know if you've used that before, but it's amazing. And LinkedIn Learning, you know, if you have a LinkedIn premium account, you can learn like anything you need to, you know, for business, for your career, for networking, for marketing, sales. I mean, all sorts of things. I've spent tons of hours in LinkedIn Learning. So very grateful to all of that. And then there's people that have created courses as well. You know, I'm not done with it, but Tasleem, I'm not going to get his last name, but he goes by Taz on LinkedIn, the LinkedIn Robin Hood. I think that's what he.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. He has a free course for people, free. And he knows what he's doing, you know, and it supports your personal brand, your LinkedIn strategy, converting from LinkedIn to sales. And I'm very grateful to people like him, to him specifically, and people that are just creating an abundance of value to help people grow, you know. I just think that's amazing. So I'm grateful to all of those things, all their tools and resources we have to learn and grow. And, you know, I just think that's important. YouTube. Shout out to YouTube.
Yeah, it is. And here, again, we can see your giving heart and your giving spirit, because you are you're dropping names here for people that can go and they can research Udemy and they can go on to LinkedIn Learning. There's so many free courses. So there's really no excuse to say, you know, I can't learn or I can't develop. Go on to LinkedIn. There's wonderful spaces that equip you to actually get into. You will be able to get into, you know, jobs that you never, that you would never have applied for before. So that's wonderful. I love that. And that's a wonderful shout out, because I don't think anyone really ever acknowledges these platforms and what they bring. They bring so much to our lives. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm loving your bullet points. Let me just tell you, I knew it was going to be a colorful session. It always is, but you're blowing my mind right now. I love it.
You're so sweet. I appreciate you. Like, really.
Thank you. Thank you. So what's next on there? Let's hear it.
Well, I mean, do you have any that you want to share? I'm, happy to trade off and stuff. I don't want to, I don't want to steal the whole call. So,
well, it is about you. That's why I invited you, because I love spending time with you. You are such a breath of fresh air. If I had to add something, I would say I'm just thankful. I had to suffer the loss of my mom in 2020 with stage 4 brain cancer, and it was difficult. And I just want to say thank you, to the universe and to God for this year, for keeping myself and my children safe from harm, and for giving us the opportunity to have a new day every day. I'm like a little kid, Daniel. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh yeah, new day. What am I going to do today? I'm like hyper like that in the morning. I'm a morning person. So I just wake up every day and I think, and I actually had an interview this week with a very close friend of mine. And you know what he told me? I asked him, what are you grateful for? And you know what he said? He said, I'm grateful that I'm on the right side of the dirt this morning. And I was like, wow, I never thought of it that way. So for me to add in there, I'm grateful that I'm alive and healthy and well. And then I get to spend these wonderful moments with people like you. And that next year is waiting at us, that we get to live. Yeah.
Absolutely. I was interviewing Freeman Beals,
who I know Freeman. Yeah.
He's amazing. And we were talking about positivity and going through daily tips that you can implement to keep a positive attitude. And what you said is the number one reason that we have, every single one of us, that we all have in common as something to be grateful for and something to wake up happy about, is that we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen to that. We're here. We get to do this. This is such a blessing. I mean, we are on opposite sides of the world and we are here having fun and talking about life.
It's incredible. Okay, so one that I missed, shout out to Zoom. Thank you.
Oh, we love you, Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, how many, without it, you and I may not have, we would have found a way to connect eventually, but I mean, we wouldn't be able to do this. We might have to find some other alternative, but it works just so well. And that's where we do our, connection events every Friday. So, I mean, very grateful to Zoom, and it's stable. That's the thing, there are all these other platforms, but Zoom really just has it. They have it down, so definitely shout out to Zoom.
Yeah, we love you, Zoom. Really, we spend most of our day with you, Zoom. So we just want to say Merry Christmas. Daniel and I are very, very happy to have you in our lives.
Absolutely. It's definitely deserves the shout out for sure.
Yeah, I love it. I'm really enjoying your bullet points. You have really amazed me, like always. I knew it was going to be interesting.
I didn't have Zoom on there, but very necessary, right? And Wi-Fi. Shout out to Wi-Fi.
Oh yes, of course. You connect us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Tell us what else. What else is on there?
All right, let's see. Okay. So I wanted to, like I said, there are some individuals that deserve special shout outs for different reasons. And, when you were talking about your mom, it made me think back to some situations where I was not having the best of days, and certain people showed up and really just put their all into bringing me up and supporting and just being amazing people, So one person in particular, Ricky Camacho, she lives in Arizona. She's such a positive light and just incredible person. Was having a rough day and she reached out and we hit it off. She is an EDM enthusiast like I am, and she added me to this group that's called Corplorit. If you don't know what PLUR stands for, it's something used in the music festival and electronic music community. PLUR, PLUR, stands for Peace, Love, Unity, Respect. And when she added me to that, I was just very happy. And that's one of the magical group chats that I'm in on LinkedIn. That's just amazing, So everybody in that group, very grateful to be connected with all of them. Everybody in the Santa's Helpers group chat is pretty awesome. That's basically there's a group of anybody that has a Santa hat on in their LinkedIn profile picture. So that's pretty awesome. So,
Love
you
it.
know, so people like her. There's also Natalie Rasmussen, who, when I was struggling with Thor, when he needed his life-saving surgery that I posted about, which was hard for me to post. I knew that was going to kind of shed some light on my whole situation, and I lost some connections over that because people were like,
Really?
"Oh yeah, oh yeah." There were people that were like, "That's not professional. Like, you really shouldn't be,
Oh my
doing
goodness.
stuff like that." So they disconnected, they blocked me, and I'm like, "Okay, well,
Oh my
to each
goodness.
their own, right? That is what it is." But that was something that I just kind of needed. And so, whatever that means to whoever it is, like, that was really supportive. And so Natalie, like, thank you, because she really was just pushing. And there were a lot of people that were really helping and tagging people to try to get more support and sharing the post like every day and sharing the other posts. And I was so grateful to not only her, but every single person that contributed, either financially or through sharing it or tagging people or just commenting. Like, I was blown away. Like, that day when I was trying to get the money to pay for his surgery, I was overwhelmed with joy and like scared to death that I might lose him. Like, it was probably the biggest like spread of emotions that I ever went through, was feeling so positive and grateful while feeling so sad, because it's almost impossible to feel sad when you're feeling grateful, which is a great way to combat being upset. But it was like an emotional roller coaster for me. Like, that was crazy. So everybody that supported me there, I can't express my gratitude enough, because I still have him. I still have my best little friend. He's right here, been
He's
throwing
beautiful.
his little crab this whole time for him, because
Show us, please. I think the world is ready to meet him. The meticulous moments, the audience wants to see him.
come on. There he is. Oh, we got the
I
Zoom back.
know, big boy. Oh, you're
This is
such
the
a
crab.
beautiful boy.
know.
Oh, his favorite toy, but that does look delicious. I mean, really.
Yeah. Yep. And he's just so good. Look how cute he is. What a cute dog.
He's so cute. And that skin. Oh, his skin is so shiny. My goodness, beautiful. We are happy that you are okay, Thor. We love you, and Merry Christmas. I know he's a big delight in your life. You love him very much. Oh, look at that face.
That's because I'm holding the crab like in front of my computer.
You know what I'm thinking? While he's there, let's take a screenshot with him. So we need to celebrate him.
Yes, definitely.
To celebrate us. Here we go, Thor. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, beautiful boy. Oh, I got him. I got him. Oh,
I love him.
We are thankful for him. Oh.
And he's on my list. He is definitely on my list. Yes, you are. You know.
Yes.
I am so grateful to you. His nickname is Torpedo because he is super fast.
I love that. Torpedo.
Yes.
He's amazing. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
I'm grateful. You know what I'm grateful for that I didn't have on the list?
Tell me.
The ability to feel comfortable doing something like that on, on a recording, on an event that we're going to post, that a lot of people would be like, oh, that's not professional. I don't care, this is me. I'm being myself, and I'm so comfortable being myself. And I highly encourage people to just let go of that, Don't worry about what other people think, because the only person that really matters is yourself. And you can't be happy if you're not authentically being yourself,
True.
Who doesn't? I mean, people have dogs, people have cats. If they don't, they might have had one in the past, Love them.
Yeah.
show that love, you know? Like, is it so bad? Right?
Not.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I do my hair every day to try to look good. I got like this ring light. I got, I could turn the virtual background off and it would still look good because I make sure my background is set. There's a microphone. Like, I do what I can to make it professional, but I'm not afraid to let go and be myself and have a good time. That's one of the Unicorn DNA strands, which we are focusing on next week. And by the time we get this out there, it'll be this week that you're hearing it. And with that, I'll promote Aubrey Baptista, who is one of our Unicorn community members, and she's going to be on the live show on Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. And she's an amazing person. She's one of the Unicorn Connectors. She's in our community. She's such a positive person. She's trying to support the world in mental health through experiential treatments and therapies like art and virtual reality. Like, she's just so cool. She's so great. And so I'm very grateful to her. I'm very grateful to know her. So some people like shout outs, even though I said I'm not going to name names, but
we have to. And you made some very interesting and very important points. And I agree with you on all of it. As podcasters and as business professionals, we are both of those. As entrepreneurs, we are all of that. We share in our personal and in our professional capacity, because when we work with people professionally, we build relationship. Yeah. So we are not, Daniel and I are not people that are superficial. We don't bring the plastic. You're going to meet us and you're going to meet the real us. And that's going to include our animals and our children and the projects that we are busy with and our mothers that have passed away. And that's life. And I agree with you. If people don't like it, well, it's their problem. But we are going to keep on bringing what's authentic and what's real. I always put on my posts, I always put the hashtag keeping it real. Because you have to be ourselves. This sugarcoating must end.
Right. Yeah. So with that, here's a shout out to Bob Berg, who is on my list, the writer of The Go-Giver, another person I'm going to have on the show second week in January. Wow. Best-selling author. The book is called The Go-Giver. It's by Bob Berg and John David Mann. And they talk about the 5 laws of stratospheric success, one of which is authenticity. And by being yourself and being authentic, you are able to tap into a more successful life. And it's not just about money, it's about freedom, because success is not money. Success is happiness. And being yourself helps you be happier. So
yes. That's the truth. And if we are happy, we are fulfilled, and then we bring the best that we've got to give to the world. So it's a necessary thing, We have to do introspection, but we should really always be our authentic selves. I love that about you. I know, Daniel, audience, let me tell you something. I know Daniel, and what I see is what I get. And that is something that I cherish about him, because I know where I stand with him. We cannot talk for weeks on end, or we can talk a lot and we'll just flow in that conversation, because we are just being ourselves. Daniel is just being himself. So I appreciate you, Daniel. This is a very, very important connection for me.
Well, thank you. I feel the same. I'm very grateful to you. Again, I think you're amazing.
Thank you, Daniel. Tell me about your next bullet point. I'm sure you've got a few more there.
Okay, well, let's see here. I do, and I can be concise with them. So let's see. So one person, a specific person who's really helped support me with my goals and helping hold me accountable to the things that I say I'm going to do is Brandon Gadoris. He's a goal execution coach. I
love it.
Additionally, I'm grateful to all the people that are willing to come on my show that I've already interviewed or that I am going to interview, like Brandon. I didn't realize these are all people that I've got lined up, for the next few weeks. Brandon's going to be the
Awesome.
first week in January. It's fitting, right? First week,
Yeah.
we're talking about goal execution. Get it done,
Yeah.
right? He is not only just a great support in helping people focus on their goals and get those things done, but he's just such a good person, like such a great person. He has a conference coming up April 15th in Stanford called A to B Con. There you go, Brandon.
Interesting.
Without you knowing it, that's the fourth time I've promoted your show without you asking. Because I just believe in him,
Yeah.
and I believe in what he's doing, and I know the quality of the people that he's going to bring together. Because I've done multiple things with him. He teaches a speaker school. I've done it twice. He meets with me every week. He's always there. He's never missed it once. And even when there have been times where I'm like, hey, I can't make it today or whatever, he doesn't let it go. We meet that week, period, no matter what.
Make a plan. Yeah. That's tenacity. That's dedication. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's on it. So shout out to Brandon. He's amazing. Also, going back to the Unicorn Universe community, I do want to give a special shout out to some of the people who supported us right off the bat that really have just always been there and jumped in and were like, I believe in you guys. I want to join because of you guys. And there are 4 specific people. There are a lot of people that have done that in different ways, but these 4 people are kind of like the original community members that without them, who knows where we would be today. So Eric Mulvin, Sebastian Cruz, I mentioned him before, William Anthony, and Nova Hall. All very incredible people took that leap of faith with us and said, we're in, so, and they're still a part of it. And we love working with them. So, shout out to them. Absolutely. And then really just every connection, I cannot state all of the names, but every single person, just so grateful to you, to they're like, it's like, what would it be? There's like this wheel of just like hundreds of people's names going through my head, and LinkedIn only lets you tag so many people. And a lot of people probably think I'm doing it just for engagement or whatever, but I put a lot of thought into the names that I tagged, because I really want to show them that I am thinking about them, that I recognize them. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes there's some copy and paste involved, but they came from an original thought, those are people that I was really grateful for and that I believed would want to see whatever I'm tagging them in. So if you ever feel like I'm tagging you too many times, I had somebody message me today that, it was just like, hey, I get way too many notifications from being tagged and I have something I'm trying to do here. So, will you not tag me? That's fine. I get it, So, but anyway, I'm grateful to all of my connections, both on LinkedIn, in person, people that maybe aren't, that I'm maybe not communicating with as much as I used to, but I still want to, it's a challenge. It really is. But I'm still grateful for all of those people. So.
And there's a special thing when you mention people in a post. Let me tell you, I'm not sure who it was that doesn't want to be tagged, and that is their preference. That's fine. We love you. But I love it when I open my LinkedIn and I see you've tagged me and you've written this beautiful post. It makes my day because it makes me feel you've thought of me. And I engage in with the people on your post. So I think, you should really carry on with that. And of course, there will be copying and pasting involved because these are the people that work with you. So it is going to be your core group. And I just think it's phenomenal. It makes my day. I love it, especially on mornings where I'm like, what is up today? And I'm already like, what's going to happen? And here is a tag from you and a beautiful post. To go along with my morning reading. So thank you. I appreciate you including me.
Absolutely. Well, and I am grateful to be able to, really.
Wonderful.
Thank you for saying that, because there are times where I feel like, are people getting annoyed by it, or are they grateful for it? And to me, like I'm tagging all these people and it's like, that's so many people, but it's also an individual, right? It's just, they're people, right? And I'm doing it. Sometimes I'm saying, follow these people. Sometimes I'm saying, I think these people are these kind of people. Like the focus of the post is this, and I think they're these kind of people, Other times it's just like my post today, I posted an image with me and Thor, and I tagged all the people that were supportive of us when we, we're going through that. Like I keep track, because it's important, and it really meant a lot to me. So. Yeah.
It made an impression on you. And there's a bond that forms when people do that. There's a bond when people stand with you and support you. And I know you are the same. When I have an interview with someone on the podcast, they become my Meticulous Moments family. I don't have the interview and then I never hear from them again. I have the interview and I've all of a sudden made a new friend. I've all of a sudden met a new Meticulous Moments family member. And they, life is worth living when we have these people walking with us. And it's a virtual environment. I mean, most of 99.9% of the people I know are virtual. There's not a lot of people in my country. But it's worth it because I know they are there. And I feel like you form those relationships as well. And it's good that you honor them because in your time of need, I'd say, or desperation or emotion, and not knowing what was going to happen, who was there? Those people. It's beautiful that you honor them. It's important that we honor people for what they do in our life, what they mean.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't feel like I've expressed enough gratitude for, specifically the people that did contribute. Yeah, as I'm about to mention his name, he throws the crab that we were playing with earlier across the room.
You see a crab flying.
Yeah, he's so funny. He'll like fling it and launch it. There have been times he'll have like this bone, and I'm like sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden this thing comes flying at me, and I gotta dodge it, or it's gonna take me out. It's terrifying.
Oh, it's so much fun. Oh my goodness, it's amazing.
Yeah, and he'll like look at me like, "Oh, sorry, man," because he knows I'm like, "Dude, you almost killed me!" Like, do it.
I love it. No, they are such a valuable part of our lives. Absolutely love animals.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me, do you have any more bullet points there? I mean, I have been thoroughly enjoying your bullet points so far.
All right, so I'm gonna fly through some of these. I'm grateful for literally every single challenge that I've been through, specifically in the last year. It has been crazy. And I'm so grateful for all the lessons I've learned. I'm grateful for my own perseverance to be able to push through those things and push through some of the struggles of creating a new company that we have this huge vision and that I know is going to change the world, but takes time and my perseverance to keep going and focus on that bigger vision. I'm grateful for myself for that, and and all the people that have supported it, so I'm grateful for all the people that I know locally that I've been able to interact with in person here in Utah and in Arizona. I actually plan on moving to Arizona because of how many incredible people I know there. And so I'm grateful to all of them. I'm grateful there's somebody who I meet with every single week and we kind of hold each other accountable. He's my accountability buddy, Aoife Simmons. He's not really on LinkedIn. I met him. There's this program called Life Hack, and I signed up for that. And there was this accountability buddy speed dating thing, and met him and hit it off right away. And we've literally met just about every single week ever. Wow. This was in May, I think, in May. Yeah. So I'm grateful to him. He's helped me focus on certain things and hold each other accountable. And he's super cool. I'm grateful to my mom and my sisters and my family and my nieces and my nephews. And some of the trips that I've been on in the past year, I got to go to Cancun. I'm grateful that I was able to make that happen. I got to go to Miami for the Grant Cardone 10X Growth Conference. I'm grateful for the 10X Rule. Very important book in my life. That's why I use I'm branding myself as the 10X unicorn. You can see it right here, right?
Beautiful. Love it. Love it.
All of those things, at the end of the day, the thing I'm most grateful for are just people, aside from just being alive. It's really people. Like when I think about what I'm grateful for, I can lose everything. I can lose, it all. But as long as you focus on the people, you're going to be okay, And so I'm most grateful that I've discovered that, because I used to be very keep to myself, stay behind a computer, not focus on relationships and not focus on people. So I'm grateful that I figured that one out, because it's so important to me. So
it is absolutely big part of our lives. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And you said something, you said you're grateful for the challenges. And I want to add on to that. I want to say I'm grateful for all the people who gave me a cold shoulder in my life, who rejected me, who treated me badly without, reason. Because those are the people that shape our character. Those are the situations that we work through, that we then look inward and we change a lot of things about ourselves, and it propels us into the future. So, getting rejected is not a good feeling, but sometimes it's a good thing in our lives. And it leads us on a beautiful path to beautiful people. Hello, Tor. I read one post the other day. It said, difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. And I was like, that's it. It leads to beautiful places, personally, professionally, in our life, in our heart space as well.
Yep. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So tell me, how many bullet points do we have left? I mean, we have been from Zoom to Wi-Fi to every connection that we can think of. I found it so innovative. And, can you see, audience, why I love Daniel so much? It's always just such a blast to spend time with him.
Well, thank you so much. I don't have any other bullet points, but to every single person that is watching this, that's supporting us on our mission in one way or another, I'm grateful to you. So thank you.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. And Daniel and I just wanted to come here today and spend some time with you and be grateful with you for everything that we have and everything that lies ahead, really, because we realize 2023 is going to be amazing. And we want to say Merry Christmas. And if we don't see you before then, Happy New Year. Any final words, Daniel?
Thank you for being here. Thank you, Juanita. I really appreciate you. I'm very grateful that we did this today.
Thank you. Thank you. This has really touched my heart. This has made my Christmas special. Thank you for agreeing to that. And to the audience members, we love you. We're going to keep creating content, and we're going to keep on with our podcast, and let's all just make a plan to make the world a better place. We'll see you on the other side. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.